Okay, so this will be our first full garden update. So the peppers got knocked back a little bit due to kind of our crazy weathers. We've just had this swing between hot and cold and hot and cold, which has not been great. I planted some beans in the back there, which you can kind of see. Unfortunately, it was kind of on top of I think that's a prairie grass, which is not great. Something is eating part of my tomato, which is really weird. Usually, I don't get any damage until the tomato hornworms show up. So I don't know if it's cutworm. I didn't think they did tomatoes, but whatever. But some of the tomatoes you can tell are doing pretty well. Peppers are doing better. So these are all, I think they're Etuida. Maybe they're Ruia peppers. I forget. No, they're Ruia peppers. And then these two are Olympus. And this one back here got grown in the pit moss soil, which is a little, hopefully I'll have a review up. It's a little less growth promoting than some of the others. And over here in this bed, we got pretty much all zucchini squash, except I have one volunteer potato in the middle, which I just decided to leave because I thought that was interesting. So you can see the zucchini are all up. I've got some hot peppers. This is the Buena Mulata. I've got one on one side, one corner, one on the other. Did it a couple of years ago. Right here, it's a Crnkovic Yugoslav tomato. It got a little beat up when I transplanted it, so I pulled off a few extra leaves. I don't have any tomato cages for it, so I probably need to go find some. So in the back, well, here is where I planted some edible gourd. And so far, I have got nothing. So I'm not sure what's up with that. So you've got a Matt's Wild Cherry right here. So obviously it is caged. It's kind of in a new part of the bed that I haven't used very much, so it may be interesting. And this part's kind of the same. It's a little bit weedy. But I've planted in here, see this little guy right there? That's an okra. So okra is usually a reasonably good competitor. Once you can get it started, if you can just keep the weeds away from it for long enough, they kind of take over and they shade a lot of things out. So I've got some okra back in there. And I've got a volunteer wheat plant right here. So you can see this zucchini bed, and I've got a second squash bed, which again is almost all zucchini. See, I've got some zucchinis there. The mushrooms coming up because we had so much rain the other day. That's actually a Zucchetta rampicante, which is a different species of squash. So most of the summer squash that you get are Cucurbita pepo. These are Cucurbita moschata. So I put those in the middle because they tend to be a little more rambly. You can see those two have come up. I think these are all Black Beauty is the variety. Then over here I've got some more okra. Kind of have the same deal. I did okra here last year, although this is a different variety. This is a Louisiana variety. So you can see we've got the actual okra right here, which came up a little bit faster than the others. And then there's another one over there. Then, for the next bed, you can see over here, I got some peppers. I think these may be gourmet, but to be fair, I don't remember. Hopefully I've got my label in here. No, this is Olympus. So they all should be labeled. I think I remember that each of these is different. So these peppers were put out a little bit later than that first bed. And I think they've done better. I adjusted them to the light levels a little bit more. So you can kind of see that they're just a little bit better. And I've used a lot of used hay from my goats and sheep. And it's full of manure, so it should be kind of combination mulch and fertilizer. So it should be good stuff. So right here, I have 3. These are all Moskvitch tomatoes. So these were put out more recently. These were put out earlier. I have one, this is Matt's Wild Cherry over there, and the other 2 are that same Moskvitch. So I think for these, being put out early was actually a little bit helpful. They're doing pretty well compared to these that were put out later. But the ones that were put out later are still doing pretty well. So then over here, we've got the bean towers. So the beans are coming up. I ran out of twine, so I have not put all the twine on them. I used some mushroom compost to kind of loosen the soil a little bit. It really got stomped by the combination of sheep and goats that we had in here over the winter. And that did provide a lot of fertilizer, but it really messed up the soil. So over here, I say, why is there nothing here? It's because I planted these a little bit later. Part of that's a little bit of an experiment. So this is that Hopi Yellow over here. This is another Hopi Yellow. It was just planted a little bit later. This one is Marvel of Venice. This one is Blaumhilde, which is a purple potted green bean. These are all pole green beans. And then over here, I've got 2 sets, 1 and 2, of my self-saved purple potted bean seeds that we've been saving for a really long time. And I'm not really sure why about one side of these didn't come up pretty much at all, so I'll probably replant a little bit. And the last big bed is this one over here, which I just mulched the other day. I kind of spaced these out a lot more. And these are all bell peppers of varying different varieties. Mostly Olympus, Ruia, and Etuida. Those are the 3. No, wait a minute. Olympus, Ruia, Etuida, and Gourmet. Those are the 4 that I have, different varieties. So right here, I've got, these are some tomatoes. These are called Sunset Red Horizon. So they came from Tomato Fest. And I've never tried these before. I haven't tried the Moskvitch before, so we'll see how they do. So here's some more bell peppers on the end. And then the last kind of quasi-experimental bed I have over here. I tried some kale in here over the winter. I thought the sheep and goats killed it, but it showed back up. But I also got an African variety of okra. Of course, all okra originally comes from Africa. There's one seedling there. There's another one there. And I've got 2 bigger ones there. And there's a 3rd one over there. And that line. So these are supposed to get really, really big. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll be good competitors and kind of be able to really fill up this spot. I'm considering putting in a bean tower in this area because it's kind of, it's a little bit of a wasted space. So we'll see. But anyway, this is pretty much the garden so far in 2022. I think it's looking pretty good. Much better than what I had last year, which is kind of one of the reasons I didn't put out a whole lot of videos, is I just had all kinds of issues. And most of it was my fault, just starting plants late, and everything got started late. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, you want to see what's going to happen with my garden, like and subscribe, and you can see more.